Stop trying to escape the system. I know exactly what you're doing right now. You are planning a side hustle. You are watching videos on how to become a digital nomad. You are trying to start an online business to finally quit your 9-to-5 job. You think you are waking up. You think you are finally breaking out of the matrix. But here is the brutal psychological truth you need to hear today. The system does not want to keep you in a cubicle. The system wants you to try and escape. In fact, your desperate attempt to break free is exactly how they are making their biggest profits. Today, we are going to expose why every time you try to escape the system, you just lock yourself into a much more expensive cage. Let us look at your exit strategy. You probably believe that quitting your job is the ultimate act of rebellion. You think the corporate world is terrified of losing you, right? Wrong. Decades ago, behavioral psychologists realized a massive flaw in the traditional economy. A satisfied, obedient employee only spends a predictable amount of money. But a frustrated worker, desperately trying to buy their own freedom? That person is an absolute goldmine. They realize that rebellion is not a threat to the system. Rebellion is an emotion, and every emotion can be weaponized, packaged, and sold back to you at a premium. Enter the rebellion market. Think about the escape the system industry. It is everywhere. It is the guy on your feed standing next to a rented sports car, telling you to buy his course to become a millionaire. It is the aesthetic of the digital nomad, typing on a $2,000 laptop on a beach in Bali. It is the endless podcasts telling you to be your own boss and hustle harder. You look at these people and you think they are free, but they are just the new salespeople of the exact same system. When you decide to break free, you do not actually stop consuming. In fact, you consume much more. To escape, you need the right tools. You need the expensive online business course. You need the premium software subscriptions. You need the website hosting. You need the personal branding. The system took your deep human desire for freedom and turned it into a premium subscription service. You are not fighting the machine. You are just upgrading to the VIP tier of the machine. But it gets worse. Let us look at what happens when you actually manage to escape. You quit your 9-to-5 job. You tell your boss you are done. You start your own online business or become a freelancer. For the first 2 weeks, you feel amazing. You sleep in, you work from the couch, you are finally your own boss. But then, the reality of the boss swap sets in. In a traditional job, you had one human boss. You worked your 8 hours, and then you went home. The cage was visible, but it had a door that opened at 5 o'clock. When you escape the system, you trade one human boss for 1,000 digital ones. Your new boss is the social media algorithm. Your new boss is the search engine. Your new boss is the client who expects an answer at 2 in the morning. You thought you were escaping the grind, but you actually just removed the boundaries. You used to work 40 hours a week for someone else. Now, you work 80 hours a week for yourself just to make the exact same amount of money. You are constantly checking your phone. You are constantly worrying about the next month. You never truly disconnect. Does that sound like freedom? Or does it sound like a much more efficient prison? This brings us to the most dangerous part of the trap, the midpoint where the system truly wins. The architects of the modern economy realized that a traditional employee is limited. A guy working in an office can only buy so much stuff, but a desperate entrepreneur trying to make it outside the system, that person is an absolute goldmine. The system wants you to try to escape. It wants you to feel the pressure of the hustle culture, because when you are desperate for success, you will buy anything. You will pay for the expensive marketing seminars. You will buy the productivity apps. You will consume hours of content that keeps you glued to the screen, generating ad revenue for the very platforms that are controlling your mind. You are more profitable as a struggling rebel than you ever were as an obedient worker. You look in the mirror and see a free thinker. The system looks at you and sees a highly motivated, high-spending consumer who polices their own behavior. You built the walls of your own cage, and you are proud of them. But wait, if staying in the system is a trap, and escaping the system is also a trap, is there any actual way out? Yes, but the real exit looks nothing like the internet told you. In fact, the people who have truly escaped are doing something you would never, ever expect. If escaping the system is a trap, then who are the people selling you the map? Let us talk about the gurus. You see them every day. The self-proclaimed free thinkers who promise to show you the way out. They tell you to quit your job, buy their system, and join the elite. But if you look closely at behavioral psychology, they are not your saviors. They are just your new middle managers. They use two of the most powerful psychological triggers in existence: social proof and the belonging bias. When you feel lost and exhausted in the corporate world, you become desperate for a community that understands you. The gurus know this perfectly. They do not actually sell you a business model. They sell you an identity. They tell you that you are part of the awake, the 1%, the elite. And to prove you belong to this exclusive club, you just have to buy their course, pay their monthly fee, attend their premium mastermind. You did not escape the system. You just changed your corporate religion. You traded a boss in a suit for a boss with a podcast microphone, and you are paying them for the privilege of being managed. This leads to the most painful realization of all: the identity illusion. Ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. Why do you want to be free? Do you want true independence? Or do you just want other people to see you as independent? For most people, it is the second one. The aesthetic of the rebel is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is the expensive minimalist backpack for the digital nomad. It is the tactical gear for the prepper. It is the premium coffee you buy while typing your screenplay in a public cafe. Your brain is using money to signal status. You think you are making a bold statement against consumerism, but you are literally just buying the free thinker starter pack. You are trapped in a loop of personal marketing. You spend hours optimizing your social media profile to prove to strangers that you are not a corporate slave. But true freedom does not need to be advertised. If you have to constantly prove you are outside the matrix, you are still deeply embedded in its code. So, what is the alternative? If the corporate job is a cage and the hustle culture is just a more expensive, invisible cage, what does the real exit look like? The answer is something the system never wants you to realize, because it is the one thing they cannot monetize. True freedom is not geographic. It is not financial. It is psychological. It is called attention sovereignty. The modern economy is powered by your attention. They need you angry. They need you aspiring. They need you desperately trying to escape. Because a mind in motion is a mind that consumes. The people who have actually escaped the system are completely invisible. You will never see them on your feed. You will never buy their online course. They do not fight the machine. They simply disconnect their emotional reactions from it. They might still work a normal 9-to-5 job, or they might run a quiet, boring business. But their self-worth is no longer tied to their productivity, their paycheck, or their rebellious aesthetic. They have built an internal fortress that algorithms cannot penetrate. They do not react to the outrage. They do not buy the aesthetic. They simply exist, silently accumulating real assets: their time, their peace, and their focus. To truly escape, you have to stop fighting the system on its own terms. You have to stop treating your lifestyle as a public statement. You have to become intensely, powerfully boring to the algorithm. The system is a game. You cannot beat a game by playing it harder. You can only beat it by walking away from the board. But right now, your hand is still hovering over the pieces. Think about the very next thing you are planning to buy to improve your life or free your time. The new app, the new gear, the new mentorship. Is it really going to free you? Or is it just the next shiny brick in the invisible cage you are building for yourself? Before you make that purchase, you need to understand why your brain physically punishes you when you try to save money. The financial traps are not just psychological, they are biological. If you want to know how your own dopamine is keeping your bank account empty, watch the video on the screen right now. Because the matrix does not just control your mind, it controls your chemistry.